Look around you. There's so much work to do. This world is in no condition for us to simply sit back and watch. There is a tangible, desperate need for Jesus. A glimpse of hope in the midst of hopelessness. Jesus experienced this. He saw it firsthand. The need broke his heart and filled him with compassion. He turned to his disciples and said, "The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few." This alone should stir our hearts. It's a calling to make a difference, to share the truth of the gospel, to be a light in the darkness, to be the church. It's time for us to look beyond ourselves, to turn our focus to the field, to answer the call and passionately share the love of Jesus. This is our mandate. This is our mission. Are you ready to do the work?
I think sometimes we forget that, don't we? That the battle belongs to Christ, that the battle's already been won, and it's not down to us, it's down to Him. But we try to do it our way quite often, don't we? In the things that we do, the things that we say. And I don't know whether you've realized, but there's a few guests with us today wearing some blue jumpers with TFM written on. We've got a great big banner at the front here, TFM Faith Through Mission. So they've been with us from Friday evening, all day yesterday, and obviously here today. And we've got two guests that are going to come and share a little bit of testimony with us. So, Kevin, come all the way from Peterborough. All the way back there, yeah. Okay. So, all right, Kevin.
Thank you, Harry. Yeah, my name's Kevin. I'm actually from close to Peterborough, a place called Spalding. It's in South Lincolnshire. I'm married. I've got two boys from this marriage, and I've been previously married, and there's two girls from that one. And they're all in their 30s and 40s, because I'm getting a bit grey in the tooth now. What I want to tell you about is a miracle, which we witnessed back at my church, not last week, the week before. There's a guy in there who had a stroke. And when the news came through, we thought the worst, There's anxiety, fear, despair. How's this going to work out? He'd lost the use of his left side. Left side of his face was drooping. So we thought, oh dear, what's going to happen now? So all you can do in those circumstances is pray. So that's what we started to do. The whole church, he's a well-known guy around the area. So many, many people praying for him. The next day, he's confounded the doctors because he's okay. He's speaking with them, and they're saying, I don't know what's happened here. And he's saying, I do. Plenty of people have been praying for me. That day, I think he had an MRI scan. All I found was something wrong inside his ear. Nothing to do with a stroke. So he's back home now, recovering, regaining his strength. But we saw a witness. We saw a miracle happen with that man. And Jesus says to us, ask and you shall receive. Seek and you'll find. Knock and the door will be open unto you. So we were asking. And we were seeking, and we knocked on that door, and Jesus answered. And enables me to come on something like this. And I've been involved with Through Faith Missions now for many, many years. And it's always good to see the fruit of the Scriptures bearing fruit. We saw it yesterday. People went out in the doors in fear and trepidation, and they came back rejoicing. Enables me to see. I said to one lady, because she is grieving after the loss of her daughter of 38, and she lost her brother early on a few years ago, and her husband. And so she's gone through this grieving process, a long grieving process. I want to say to her, Jesus loves you. He values you. He adores you. He wants you to know him. And you can say that to many, many other type of people. You know, the self-harming young teenager, the grieving mother, the drink or drug addict, those who are trying to recover from gambling. There's plenty of people out there we can tell them that they are loved, very much so much loved by Jesus Christ. I'm going to hand you over now to David, and he's going to share a bit of his story as well.
Good morning. My name's David. I live in the Lake District. I have but one wife, 2 kids, and 3 grandchildren. I'm quite dyslexic. When I was at school, we didn't have dyslexia, we had lazy and stupid. Okay, I wasn't sure if I was stupid or not, but I was sure I wasn't lazy. And I became a driven my way person. I'm actually quite a good engineer despite being dyslexic, because you don't need to do words with engines. And I got on quite well in life. I attended church all my early years as a religious act, because it's what we did. When I was 21, I got confirmed. Can't remember a thing about the course except when the bishop laid hands on my head, and I felt that. It was quite a pleasant feeling. Forgot all about it, went right away from church, right away. Seen lots of stuff you shouldn't see, been to lots of places you shouldn't go, and done lots of stuff you shouldn't do. One day I was working in my company 7 days a week. On a Sunday morning, 9 o'clock, I suddenly felt I need to go to church. Now my wife had been going to church while I was not. I went home and she was just about to get in the car, and of all places she was going to a Baptist church. How scary is that? So I got in the car with her and went to the Baptist church, and as I went through the door I got a hug. Not from anybody. I got that same strange feeling I got when the bishop laid his hands on my head. And I thought, ooh, I remember that, that's interesting. And I started to read the Bible. And I got to the point where I believed that Jesus had died for my sins. And I thought, that's great, I can carry on doing everything my way, because I've understood it now. I believe that Jesus is Lord. One day I went to a Bible class, and the Bible teacher, it was a night group, gave us all a little square of paper. Her children had drawn a heart on each one, and across it she'd written, Lord, I open my heart and surrender. Well, I wasn't going to surrender to anybody. I was doing it my way. But this little piece of paper seemed to be stuck to me. I didn't want to throw it away, and every time I turned around it seemed to be in front of me. And after about 6 weeks, I got down on the ground, on my knees, and said, Lord Jesus, I surrender my life to you. And I thought, right, I've done it all now. That's it, finished. About 7 weeks later, my 2 daughters, who were 7 and 9 at the time, just walked up to me, stood in front of me. One of them said to me, Daddy, you've changed. And they turned around and walked away again. And do you know what? Giving my life to Jesus, surrendering to the Lord, was the best thing I have ever done. He's now in control of my life pretty well most of the time. I still have a bit of control here and there, but thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, David. Wonderful. It's just great to hear the stories, isn't it? We tend to read stories in the Bible, we tend to hear stories from afar, but it's nice to hear stories that are close to home, isn't it? And definitely with Kevin and with David, stories closer to home when you're actually here with us. Should we stand and sing again? Just think.
Oh soul, my soul, are you weary and troubled? No night so dark that our eyes cannot see. There's light so bright as we look to our Savior. Life more abundant and free. life more abundant and free. Turn your eyes upon Jesus, look full in his wonderful face, and the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace. Oh God, our God, you are with us in darkness. Your word, your light is leading us on. Our hearts can hear you, Heavenly Father, calling us all to your Son, calling us all to your Son. You say, turn your eyes upon Jesus, look full in his wonderful face, and the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace, in the light of his glory and grace. We turn our eyes to you, beholding all your beauty. You are holy. We turn our eyes to you, beholding all your beauty. You are holy. We turn our eyes to you, beholding all your beauty. You are holy. We turn our eyes to you, beholding all your beauty. You are holy. We turn our eyes upon Jesus, look full in his wonderful face, and the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace. Oh, we turn our eyes upon Jesus, look full in his wonderful face, and the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of his glory and grace, in the light of his glory and grace, in the light of his glory and grace. We turn our eyes to you. We turn our eyes to you.